popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.
What's up, little biscuits and sun-dried tomatoes? It's your boy, Eddie Collins.
Guys, and it's Justin Brown.
And we're here with another edition of Medium Popcorn. The butteriness in your ears, it's going to be good, delicious, and maybe a little warmer. But don't be alarmed. Because we're talking about hot Frosty, baby. We're talking about hot fucking Frosty. A Netflix movie starring Lacey Sherbert and Dustin Milligan. Now, I wasn't looking for this movie, Justin. I was just trying to enjoy my day, hanging out, talking to friends. And then my sister messages me on Instagram, is like, have you seen Hot Frosty? And I was like, no. What's that? And she's like, it's a Netflix movie. Watch it. I was like, okay, sure. You rarely give me movie recommendations. She wanted me to share. This is what we have similar in common, Justin, me and my sister. We have the joy of seeing people suffer through the art of cinema as a commonality, because there's no reason why any loved one would make someone that they care about watch this insanity. This is one of the most unhinged movies I've seen in a long time.
Brandon, this movie made zero to no sense.
Everyone was in a different movie. Lacey Sherbert, because she does a lot of those Lifetime holiday movies and shit like that ever since Mean Girls. Before that, she was on Party of Five. I've been following her career for a long time. She started off as a child actress, but this is been her bread and butter. Now Netflix is just capitalizing on this shit. They got Lindsay Lohan doing some of this shit. Now they got Lacey Sherbert. They even have a Mean Girls. They have several Mean Girls Easter eggs and references in this fucking thing. But yeah, it's...
Do they?
They do, because remember they have the scene where they showed the Lindsay Lohan Netflix movie that she's watching. She's like, oh, I went to high school with a girl like that. And then even when she wakes up, it's Jingle Bell Rock, was the song that they were doing the sexy little slutty Santa Claus dance in Mean Girls. There's a bunch of little Easter eggs in this fucking
I hate this movie. I hate it so much.
Also, there's so many advertisements for Netflix movies in this shit. It's like a huge Netflix advertisement.
This is like a fucking a Chris Stokes and Marcus Houston production on Tubi.
just the same shit over and over. Man alive. And the UVR producer pointed out that it's the top 10 in Netflix right now. And this is a huge hit. This is people just that fucking lonely, or
no, or are people hate watching this?
Well, that's what I can't figure out. It's I can't figure out which way is up with how people watch these movies, because these movies are popular. It's a huge thing. I actually turned down a writing gig to write a Lifetime-esque holiday film, just because these movies are so crazy. I'm I don't want to do that.
Hold on, Brandon. You turned down a possibility to write a Lifetime-esque holiday film.
Yeah.
A Brandon Collins production. You didn't think that'd be a good idea?
It wouldn't be a Brandon Collins production. You know what? For me, it's going to be I think they want some a Lifetime holiday Kwanzaa movie, whatever. And I was I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that to my people. Have the fucking, this Tyler Perry-ass, Tubi-ass movie. Shit, and people were who wrote this abomination? Brandon Collins? Let me find this nigga. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, Brandon.
I know a trap when I see one.
Yeah, Brandon, that's what you should be doing.
Jeez, I don't want to do
We've read your scripts on this show.
Well, those are from years ago.
Insane.
I mean, but that's the thing, is I would have to be so conventional, because they follow similar beats. You can't stray from the formula. And so that would be frustrating in its own right. I mean, this movie follows similar beats to boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy is actually a snowman, realizes he can't really fuck girl, but he still gets the girl at the end. It's all cuckoo bananas. And they never explain how he turns it into a human. They don't even explain who made the snowman.
Yeah.
It's just a shirtless white dude who's made out of snow, and then she puts her scarf around it. Okay, let's talk about Kathy. Kathy apparently runs this fucking cafe called Kathy's Cafe, which is so uninspired, in Hope Springs, in New York. This town is ran by Craig Robinson, who's the local sheriff or whatever the fuck.
Who's fucking nuts in this film? Go
So
on.
out of control. We'll talk about his crazy ass. Kathy's husband recently died of cancer. He was a handyman. So she doesn't know how to do anything around the house, including order a TaskRabbit. So she's literally living in squalor. Her house is falling apart. There's leaks everywhere. She don't got no heat. The staircase is broken. It's like, is she doing okay? Because she's running this business. But even the cook is like, hey, you got that heat on yet? Because if you freeze to death, who's going to sign my checks? And that's all within the first 5 minutes, everybody.
So, I don't know when I should start talking about this. I just need to jump the gun. Dustin Milligan, he looks absolutely crazy in this film.
He is not a good-looking dude. Yes, he has like a 12-pack, but his face, okay, we used to say this in high school. I don't know if y'all used to say this, Justin, as
The
boys.
Butterface?
He is the male Butterface. He is the button face. He has such an atrocious, he looks like a scarecrow. It's fucking crazy.
Listen, man.
He's shredded like a Julianne Salad baby, but he is ugly as fuck.
Well, all right, this is the thing. Like, when he was in Schitt's Creek, because he played the girl's boyfriend in Schitt's Creek, and he looked much better with shorter hair. And then when he got the beard, it gave him a little bit of like, a little manliness, right? He was, what was the sister's name? No, he wasn't the vet.
I only watched one episode of Schitt's Creek.
He was the vet. He was Alexis's boyfriend, the guy she was about to marry. He was a veterinarian. Yeah, he was great in that show. Especially once he had the facial hair. Now, once you don't have facial hair and you have the long hair, he looks like, I don't even know what the fuck he's supposed to look. He looks crazy. Like, for one, I think he needed a beard or something, the facial hair.
Yeah.
With that hair, he just looks so fucking nuts. But also, he looks very effeminate. Now, mind you, he's a straight man. He's a straight man. He's married. He has kids.
Oh, yeah. He's married to one of the actresses from Final Destination 3 in Silicon Valley for some reason. If you saw her, you would recognize her. It's really random, but he's a goofy looking motherfucker.
Yeah. And even a lot of his mannerisms in this, like, he's not a fucking good actor.
Well, I think
I don't know. It's a comedic acting he can't do, but like everything came off as just like, he was playing like, I don't know what's going on. I'm bewildered by the world around me. He just came off like just kind of gay. I mean, I don't know. It was just, like I said, his acting was just too effeminate. It was just very weird.
It did feel like okay, I can see where you think they maybe has like gay best friend vibes versus love vibes. I think that's what you're trying to say.
I didn't feel any chemistry between
before it just sounded like you were 90s hip hop in it right now. So it was let me stay just right.
No, like, it was like he didn't come across at all as somebody who would be into this woman.
It had no sexual chemistry, which is insane because Lacey Sherber, I mean, this is a wholesome movie, but she got some bangers on. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Okay. I've seen not another teen movie. Okay. She working with some stuff, but yeah, it was just the way he played it was very touched. Like obviously he's a snowman that came alive and doesn't know the world around him, but he's immediately like cooking and shit like that. He comparatively can learn a lot of stuff. He learns how to be a handyman pretty quickly. And for me, it showed one that the talent is kind of stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The talent is full of like crazy people. Because that's the thing is you don't know how fantastical this is supposed to be. Because no one really seemed surprised, including Kathy, that this nigga is like, I'm a snowman. Like you're the one who maybe come to life. You put a scarf on me and now I'm here. Like no one is acting accordingly. And then you got crazy Craig Robinson, the other nigga from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, who were trying to investigate, and they're just walking around fucking twirling their mustaches, interrogating white people. It's just so insane.
So, and that's Jolo Truglio. So, real quick, Lluvia said in the chat, he didn't have a beard in Schitt's Creek. He was clean shaven and had blonde hair. He did have a beard because he went away or whatever And then he came back and he had the beard and he looked rugged. And that's why Alexis was into him again. And then that's what was the whole thing where she was between him and the kind of like dirtbag guy who lived in town. Because the dirtbag guy then shaved his beard off. And then he looked like, really handsome. She was just like, what the fuck?
Mm. Got it. I didn't watch Schitt's Creek.
You're missing out. Great show.
Yeah, I've heard. I mean, I love Eugene Levy and obviously Catherine O'Hara, but just the first episode, I was like, this is the pilot. This is what sold it. I just wasn't into it, but I'll revisit it eventually. My list of stuff to watch is pretty fucking.
Yeah, it's good.
Crazy. Okay, let's go back to, should we talk about, let's talk about Kathy's friend at the vet, or whatever the fuck, the chick from Eastbound and Down?
Yes.
Who, I don't know what, her name is, Katie Mixon Greer. They did not do her justice with the way that they had her set up and looking and her makeup. She's a pretty actress. She got some stuff to work with as well. She looked god awful in this movie. Maybe that's why Dustin Milligan looked terrible. Because they just didn't know how to like people.
So first of all, for one, Katie Mixon, you're probably looking at her Wikipedia page. Like for one, she's 43 years old. She put on a little bit weight, put on a little bit of weight over the years, but she's still a pretty woman.
Yes.
But it's like also just like everybody's character is fucking nuts in this film.
Oh yeah, I mean she does his temperature and he should be legally dead, and she's just like, well, that's crazy. Let me do it again, and she's like, It's like, okay, no one's worried about this ice demon being in Old Spring.
Well, again, he's just like, I'm a snowman. He's just like, he's a snowman. He's just like, bitch, you're just accepting that this guy's a fucking snowman.
Well, it's also like to them, he's a pretty white dude that's always shirtless, basically. So all the older ladies want to fuck him. The young ladies want to fuck him. Everybody wants to fuck this dude. The guys want to fuck him. But that's why he's just getting around town without paying for anything. He's getting free clothes. Lacey Sherbert, she's just like, hey, come live with me while we figure this out.
Actually, Katie Mixon was just like, you can stay with me. And then Lacey was just like, yeah, that's a good idea. He's like, no, I want to stay with her because I'm in love with her. I've known her pretty much my whole entire life. She's just like, she begrudgingly accepts him into her home.
Yeah, it was very like Charlie Brown. Where are thou, Charlie Brown? But what the fuck is it? The Chateau. You know the Charlie Brown one I'm talking about.
Bon Voyage, Charlie.
Bon Voyage. Yeah, where she's like, I think I have known you all my life, Charlie Brown. Come see me. Yeah, it was very creepy. Like nothing about this movie was calming. These movies often bring a sense of calm and relaxation, right? You're kind of like, it's like a warm blanket. You're like, this is going to be trashy shit, but everyone's going to end up happy. From the moment that dude becomes a real person and breaks into that store and steals clothes, you're just like, oh, we're off to the races now. Because Craig Robinson shows up. And like I said, he's in a completely different movie. This nigga's playing this shit like he's Matlock, but then he randomly bursts into some playing a keyboard. It's like, it's just him and Joe working at the station. Like, wait, what is this?
Yo, but I gotta say, he was like, yes, he's wild. But there are some things that he did that were actually pretty funny. Like when he has like a whole fucking like rack, rotating rack of glasses, of aviator glasses, which are basically the same.
Yeah.
And he goes and takes one. I'm going to take this one. And he puts it on like, what?
Yeah.
He was nuts.
Yeah, it was, I didn't like it. I didn't like what he was doing. It felt like he was in a different movie. Which I get, like, he's just going to do his own thing. Because at the end of the day, director Jerry Siratelli, I don't think he really could direct anybody. I don't think he had control. I think everyone was just doing their own thing. That's why there's no chemistry between the two leads. I mean, bro, we're talking about a dude, Jack, who's the snowman. He's given carte blanche around this town. He may as well fucking ran for mayor. He gets to work at a school. He has no identification, Justin. He's helping teenagers find love. What is going on?
Brandon, it was the best thing ever.
He had that little black boy. I was like, first of all, does he even understand race as a snowman?
Also, at the same time, it turned out that kid was Craig Robinson's son.
Really?
Yes. At the
Oh, I missed that.
no, at the end, he's just like,
yeah, he's like, Dad.
he goes to give the last $10. It's like, you're helping him. No.
Okay, that was wild, right? That was like he's gonna pocket that money when he collects it, right?
That would be-
That was insane. Like when he was collecting that money for the bail of Jack, I was like, he's gonna pocket this shit.
Also, police don't set bail.
That's what I was like. He's robbing the town. What? That's why he's gonna lose his re-election. Even though it sounds like no one's running against him, so I don't know what he was worried about.
Yeah, it's like, but that's like police don't set bail. It's actually like the judge sets the bail.
Yeah,
unless he's the police officer and he's the judge, or both to one. But I think that's a little bit of conflict of interest.
it was completely cuckoo bananas. Everything that Craig Robinson was doing. Also, okay, I mean everyone was out of their minds. Again, Jack is able to. He's cooking food. He even comments about how warm things make him feel weird and shit. I was like, I don't know if that's like him becoming more human or if he's slowly dying. We don't have any rules of engagement with this.
Well, I mean, I guess because he's technically still snowman-esque, like yeah, the rules were not defined.
Is the old couple in the reclaimed rags store, are they the magical motherfuckers? Because they're the ones that give her the scarf that awakens the white boy spirit.
The white boys.
I don't know why to describe. It's haunting. People are like, oh, this movie's so charming, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this shit is creepy.
Wait, people thought this was charming?
That's why it's a hit. People were like commenting online, like, oh, this is such a sweet movie. And, it's such a, it's a great love story and so fantastical. I'm like, everything about this movie is creepy. Like, it's very easy to see Jack flip and he's fucking killing kids and fucking their moms and then killing the moms. Like, he's doing some wild shit.
Jesus Christ, Brandon, what are you going through?
Went through a lot, man. I've been watching these goddamn movies. I'm like, this isn't how life works. And also, Hope Springs, full of Trump supporters.
Well, this is upstate New York.
Yeah. Well, is Hope Springs a real place? No, right?
I mean,
yeah, it shouldn't be. If it is,
let's check it out. Let's see if Hope Springs is an actual place.
Lluvia and our producer in the chat's asking, Silent Night again? ? As in, like, Silent Night, like it's an insane movie, because Silent Night is way more entertaining than this, and that's what you're trying to ask. This movie, it's only an hour and 30 minutes. It's a tight 92 minutes, but it feels like it's 4 hours at times. There's points where it just drags for some reason.
Okay, Hope Springs is a fictional town, but the town is actually a place called Stonington, Connecticut.
Oh, I can see them filming this in Connecticut for sure. Yeah. Oh no, filming took place in Canada, which makes even more sense actually.
Oh yeah, it says Brockville. No, but Hope Springs was actually a film. Okay, Hope Springs was a film in 2012, and it was it was filmed in Connecticut. But Hope Springs for this, this is in yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
No. The most of Frosty was shot in and around the city of Brockville, which is located quite close to the border of upstate New York.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Wikipedia just says it took place in Canada from April to May, which, yeah, I can tell this was filmed in a month. That's not surprising at all.
Yeah.
Not surprising in the slightest, Okay. So Dustin Milligan said he drew his inspiration from Will Ferrell and Elf, Daryl Hannah in Splash, Jennifer Garner in 13 Going on 30, and Tom Hanks in Big when preparing for the role of Jack. See, that's where your first problem is, Dustin. You picked from too many crazy-ass performances. That's why you were out of your damn mind. And people, everything about Jack was giving me red flags. If I were just a regular citizen in Hope Springs, I would be like, one, where did this guy come from? Okay, he says he's a snowman. Okay, what does that mean, sir? And he's like, oh, I was brought to life by this woman's scarf. Okay, third red flag now. Okay, what do you want to do with your life now that you're a human being, Jack? I want to be around kids. Okay, fourth red flag. Now we're just fucking, you need to go to jail. Or we need to take care of you. Like, that's all it is. If we kill him, he's not part of the citizens. He's not part of the census.
So I usually don't just go ahead and just agree with police. But Craig Robinson was right on with this film. You need to take this motherfucker down.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is Craig Robinson's like trying to get the robber of the reclaimed rag store
Yeah.
or whatever, right? Just because they had to replace a window, which they're very much like, hey, the window was donated. Like, we're good. We're not pressing charges against whoever. And Craig Robinson's like, I can't let crime stand because if crime starts picking up, then people aren't going to reelect me. So I got to get this. I got to get this motherfucker. So he's just, and then he just, because Jack is the new dude in town. He's just like, who's that motherfucker? And since Jack is also telling people that he's a snowman come to life, he's like, well, I got a few questions.
Well, I mean, but Brandon, is he wrong?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, Craig Robinson's character actually might be the smartest person in town.
Yeah.
He's out of his guy.
While
Like,
also
he's an
being the
absolute
dumbest
buffoon.
person in
Yeah.
town.
Yeah, but that's not saying much. Everyone's fucking, because Kathy Mixon, as the vet, for me, I was like, I have so many concerns now if you're a medical professional. You know what I mean? The way that she was behaving, I'm like, you should be asking way more questions and not just trying to fuck this Iceman.
Well, I mean, it's also weird that people wanted to fuck this snowman because, like, there was other than his body, there wasn't much about him that was appealing.
No, he doesn't have a personality. I mean, maybe, is that what women want? They just want a hot-looking, dumb dude that they can mold.
Butterface?
Well, because we're both married men, Justin, stuff like that. We know that our wives, they love us so much, but there's definitely things that we do and say and act like where they're just like, you're a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Like, or let me try to change you where you can fit my mold of what I want. Right.
Well, you know what? I think it's also because, we're, 30s and 40s. So, we're kind of set in our ways, and our wives are the same age, or if not a little older or whatever. So we're in a space where when they found us, we were already completely done. We were finished. It was going to get no better than what we already are. So they had to settle for us. So, I mean, women in their 20s, they have more, opportunity to find the guy. Once you get past like 35, you're dealt. Your hand is dealt. These are the guys you have to deal with.
That is true. I mean, Lluvia pointed out that Ali Wonka said on one of her specials, it's easier to find a good wife than to find a decent husband. I feel like, especially like after like a certain age, after like 35, there's some reasons, especially I know like all my dudes who are single post 35, it's for a reason. And it's not because they can't find love. You know what I mean? It's for specific reasons.
That's why I got married at 35.
Just like it got it right in time before questions start being asked.
My expiration date was coming up.
You should just like, hey, Paula, come here. Come here, Finnish lady. Yeah, I mean, maybe this movie should take place in Finland or some shit. Like, don't put this in America because it made Americans
Why would that
so
make it
fucking
any
stupid.
better?
Because in Finland, they have a reindeer and stuff. You can make this more fantastical and more like, hey, snowman do come alive. Again, in America, if a nigga walked into a small town and was like, I don't care how hot you are, because there's definitely one dude that had guns who was like, his wife wanted to fuck this kid, and he's like, yo, I'll show you who the real snowman is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if a touched man came into a diner and shut up in town, no one knows who the fuck he is, and all the women want to fuck him, and he's like, I'm a snowman, and he's just walking around town shirtless, doing crazy shit.
Oh,
you'd be like,
he would beat his ass.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if the neighborhood really cares about like their safety and community and stuff, there would be enough people to question Jack, and they wouldn't get good answers. To where like, yeah, Ahmad's probably gonna beat him to the white meat, or at very least, Craig Robinson's well within his rights to put him in holding until they figure out where the fuck he's from.
One thing which is interesting is just like, I feel like attractive people, it's very hard for them to find themselves homeless. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody's gonna jump on that bullet to catch that dick or get some of that honey, if you know what I mean.
Is it? I think that's interesting. That's an interesting conversation because I wonder if for men it's harder for that to work out. I think for men it's easier to kind of like house surf and shit.
You
like,
can crotch surf real.
well, like, you know what I mean? I think it's a little bit different. Like, because if I saw like let's say Halle Berry in Jungle Fever, right? Like she's supposed to be this homeless woman. If Halle Berry homeless came up to me and was like, "Hey, Daddy, can I get a night at your place?" I'm gonna be like, "You girl, you can stay there as long as you need to. Let's just get you a shower and some soap, and we in for business."
So, but that's the thing. That's the thing. I think in that case, a guy would put up with it for but so long until they got tired of it. Because when it really comes down to it, you know, there isn't a woman who's really pretty enough and to be homeless to where guys will be like, I'll just deal with this and I'll make her my wife. That guy would have to be pretty fucking desperate. You know what I'm saying? You have to be pretty desperate to then keep her forever.
It all depends on the circumstances why you're homeless, though, because most of the time it's for mental health issues and stuff that are untreated. You know what I mean?
But like for guys, I think that like if there is a really hot guy who is homeless, and a woman came across it, and she's like, let's say she's about 35 years, she'd be like, I could make this work, because there's a moment of settling, right? And then there's also the point is, if this man gets in that house, you know, he's living on the streets. He ain't got no rubbers, and he knocked her up. He's got a whole new life, baby.
Okay, now we're going to like the territory that I was like, are we going to talk about this? Okay, I guess we are. Because Kathy and Jack obviously didn't end up together at the end. You think that he's going to die, but then, you know, he's dying like he's E.T. at the end, like in the town square, just laying on the snow, like, but then he gets revived. He gets revived. They have a kiss and shit. And they're living together. They already were living together, but at the end they're living together, exchanging gifts and shit like that.
Yeah.
And she buys them a plane ticket to Hawaii. So they're gonna be going to Hawaii and fucking he might melt down there. Who the fuck knows? That means there's gonna probably be a sequel. Like
no, Polynesian dude's gonna beat his ass.
That's gonna be hot Hawaiian Christmas or whatever the fuck. But I was wondering that. I was like, okay, he's real and they're kissing. So when they get physical, I mean, obviously his abs are real. So when they get physical, one, does he have a dick? Because did the molder put that into, and if so, I got questions again about the molder, the sculptor, whoever the fuck put this together. And then second, if he does have a dick, does he have balls that have sperm in them? Can he procreate? And if he can, what the fuck is going to come out of that? There's so many questions. Because once you get into that's why they did water. Well, that's why they didn't kiss until the end, because I think they didn't want audience members asking, like, wait, anatomy-wise, how is this going to work?
Yeah, because also he would get too hot. He'd overheat through all that body heat.
Exactly. It's kind of like the Barbie conundrum, right? It's like, well, how y'all going to fuck? Because none of y'all have, you know, the actual genitals and stuff.
Yeah, because they can't even scissor.
Yeah, remember, that's the joke at the end. That's that joke at the end of Barbie where she's like, I'm here to see my gynecologist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so for me, there's a lot of questions, man. And what made it even crazier is I don't know that these characters make it as a couple. Kathy is just a broken lady. I don't think she ever got the counseling or support she needed emotionally following her husband's death. She's been a widow for a while. People know that she's struggling. I mean, if this town is so big on community, right, and care about one another, her friends know that she's living like basically a squatter. She has no heat. There's drips everywhere. She barely can walk down the stairs safely. You would think that the community would come together, like when they, you know, in fucking Simpsons, when they helped Ned Flanders rebuild his house and shit, and they would put things together for her. No, it takes this random nigga that's from a snowland to be like, oh, I think I can fix that. I watched the YouTube video. Let me say what I can do. I need to also charge thousands of dollars on your credit card and buy stuff on Amazon.
Yeah, that was nuts.
How did he learn how to use technology so quick?
Because at that point, this motherfucker's getting knuckle sandwiches for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He's running up a credit line.
They put her in debt. He's just ordering a firm purchases and shit. Just like, why is there $3,000 for just lots of knives? Like, what the fuck are you cutting?
I like knives. I'm a snowman. I want to carve me a woman. What if he cheats on her with another snow bitch that he creates? He could easily do that.
It's possible. I can see Jack getting lonely and being like, "You don't understand me. You don't understand what I've been through. Let me create my own." Yeah,
Now
I
you
can see
got
that.
it. Now you got it, Brandon. Now you got it.
But you know who you cast as the Snow Woman, right? Lindsay Lohan. Got the sequel right there for you, Netflix. Sequel's right there, baby.
I hope not.
But you know what I mean? Like, I don't think they make it long term. Like, the only like thing that Jack has going for him is that he probably is gonna fuck the shit out of Kathy when they go to Hawaii. She will get pregnant, and then we'll just see what happens.
Okay, here's a question.
That baby might come out like Oswald Cobblepot in Batman Returns. It might be all fucking crazy, dude.
She gives birth to the penguin. This is the penguin's origin story. My father was a snowman. My mother was a woman.
It's so crazy, man. Because the way you describe this movie is like this chick wants to fuck a snowman, and you're like, what? And they're just like, no, like for real, it's just a snowman came to life under like the vision of a 12-pack weird looking white dude.
Honestly though, I'm looking at the poster for this film. And I just keep on asking myself, who thought that putting him in that fucking, because I think that's his hair, because I don't think it was a wig. Who thought that he looked attractive looking like this?
It's because he's got those guns where he's wearing that fucking shirtless Ottoman's jumper for some reason. His whole wardrobe was cuckoo bananas.
Werewolf?
And it was just, I mean, all the outfits were crazy. I mean, this poster, the poster's terrible.
Yeah.
They don't even have chemistry in the picture. The way he's holding her hand is very questionable.
Yeah. Yeah, she really looks like she doesn't want to be there.
Well, that's the thing is the way that Lacey Sherbert played it is like, she's done a lot of these movies, and I feel like she's like, I know the formula. I don't need to do rehearsals and shit like that. I feel like she slowly realized that her character, like, is troubled. And just couldn't act her way out of it. Because when you really think about it, Kathy should be played like someone who's going through PTSD probably from watching her husband die of cancer.
Yeah.
And she's just stunted, right? She's just frozen in place, like, emotionally. And probably physically. She's probably like, not trying to be intimate with anybody and stuff
She's
like
all
that.
dried up.
Yeah, and so but there's just nothing about the way, like, even when she saw the snowman, she's like, oh, he's kind of hot. Like, even for her, she's like questioning, like, is this an attractive sculpture? She's not the one that's like goo goo gaga and over him. She's like, oh, he's got a great body, but she's not like head over heels, like in love with this dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Immediately, like, everyone else wants to fuck. Everyone else is like, and they touch this nigga. He's ice cold.
And that part is nuts. Like that, I get these little things in the film, and you're just like, well, why? But why? Why are they doing this? Like, why was that the decision to be like, yeah, and he's cold to the touch half the time, but he could drink some hot cocoa, but it melts a little bit, but it doesn't melt because he's not a snowman, but he is a snowman. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't know what you're saying. Help me.
It was, bro, I was very concerned about Hope Springs. And also the reason why they have him at the school is because the school is short-staffed, which I'm like, okay, so this community's in disarray.
Mm-hmm.
No one probably wants to be in this small-ass town because they have crazy shit like this happening. You know what I mean? Like, because it didn't seem like everyone was phased. Is that fucking, like, store, the Raggedy Ann store, whatever the fuck, that's like a Goosebumps place. Like, that's just where haunting stories come from, apparently. Like, because no one asked.
Somebody brought a monkey paw there just last week.
I think they didn't even ask. She didn't even go back to them and be like, hey, that scarf you gave me, ever since you gave it to me, weird shit's been happening to me.
True. She just accepted it.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, Kathy, you got this new guy in your life. How are things going?
Also, that couple that worked at that store is very miscast. You know what I'm saying? She's like, and that's when I met such and such. Honey, can you get the scarf? And he's just like, of course. Comes back with this fucking scarf. This red scarf, you put it on, you go out there and you find your self-love. Sometimes you just need to get cold. I don't know what you mean.
I mean, yeah, there's that story also made me wonder, like, how are they staying open? How's this town function? Because again, if Lacey Sherbert's doing okay, there's no reason why she didn't hire a TaskRabbit to fix up her house.
True.
But like at the same time, I'm like, I don't know how well people are doing this town because it seemed like a lot of people were just walking around. Like it didn't seem like people actually worked in this town. You know what I mean? Like it was, or like they're not good at their job. So like you all can't be fucking idiots
working at
running
the diner, man.
businesses. How-
The diner, they were working. Somebody was frying up them flapjacks.
Oh yeah, the brother who was like, if you die of frostbite, who gonna sign my checks? I was like,
Shabba-da-doo, a shabba-da-da, doo-ba-da-doo, da-da-da.
Kathy definitely should have had at least one black friend who was like, yo, what the fuck you doing with this nigga that keeps saying he's a snowman?
Other than Craig Robinson, there was nay a nigga in sight in this town.
Except the
And
cook.
his son, too. Which I guess you would have to assume that his wife is black as well. But still, like, there was no way that you were going to find more than one black family up in this town.
Yeah, I was also concerned that we might have like a, I don't know. I don't think there's a good story behind Craig Robinson's sheriff character and whatever relationship he might have with a wife or like the baby mama of that kid. He was so unhinged. I'm like, I don't see him having a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
He literally is like investigating the robbery, but he's just in the precinct like singing songs. Oh, I'm gonna find a snowman. Like, it was crazy. There's no way that character makes more than $50,000 a year,
And he doesn't need to. Why does he need
he's
to?
overpaid. He's greatly overpaid. All he does is walk around. Okay, everybody, this town maybe from what we saw, I would say this town is like maybe 10 blocks. Like there's not much real estate in this fucking town. It's the downtown area, which is where we spend, I would say, 70% of the movie.
Yeah.
Then we have Lacey Sherbert's house. We have the one street where Jack walks down. He's doing some maintenance shit. That's where the old lady almost crashes her car, seeing him shirtless and stuff. There's very few like actual locations that make me feel like Hope Springs is really fucking small. And so when you consider that, again, I'm like, I don't understand how any of these people are doing well financially, mentally, education-wise. If this school is struggling so much to staff their fucking space that they had to hire a nigga who literally is like, I'm a snowman as a janitor who also waxes poetic to students, Hope Springs is not going to do well. That generation that they're popping out of that school, they're not going to be beneficial to society. Okay? Hope Springs, they're not seeing their best. Okay? That's what's happening here. At the very least, maybe one of those graduates from the high school goes to York College. That's about it.
Damn, Brandon, damn. Okay, so you put in the chat, Justin, compared to the Harry Potter movies, is this better or worse? Oh, Harry Potter is better than this. It's definitely a step up.
I'm just going to slap you. You said this is worse than Harry Potter.
Fucking hot Frosty versus Harry Potter. Imagine you had magic niggas in this outside of just the fucking scarf.
They should have. There should have been some other fantastical elements to like balance this out because it's so absurd what's going on with Jack and the fact that everyone kind of just accepts it. Like, think about it. Kathy Mixon touches this dude and does his temperature several times and it's basically like, you should be dead.
I mean, but Brandon, she touches him and does his temperature as a professional, as a medical professional. She is doing this, and she's just like, I'd still fuck.
She says, basically, she's like, I'd still fuck, and no, I'm not going to report this on a national level.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? At the very least, this movie should be about her trying to get him out of an asylum or some kind of medical experiment thing. Like, it really should have been like an ET situation where like the people were like, where the fuck did you come from? Like, because either it's like he's a fucking, not an abomination, but he is so not fantastic. It's just out of the ordinary. right? Where they have to experiment on him, or he's a mental patient.
So I guess the other question that I have is like, if this dude, if this is like, let's say this, we're real worlding it right now, right? This dude pops up out of nowhere claiming he's a snowman, right?
You can get over that. And folks, you might be like, if you haven't watched this movie, you might be like, guys, he didn't literally say he's a snowman. Yes, he says it several times at the beginning when he introduces himself to people.
But like, let's say this happened. He claims he's a snowman. How far is he going to get before he's committed to a mental institution? You know what I'm saying?
I was surprised in the first interaction with like Craig Robinson and the other cop that one of them wasn't like, hey, come talk to us. Like, like we got to go somewhere. Like at the very least, you need to give him a mental evaluation.
Yeah, or at the very least, you need to drive him down to the docks and get your answers.
Because the thing is, he has no ID.
Yeah,
he's stealing clothes. He's basically like homeless. They ask him where he lives. He's like, I don't know. He looks the way he looks. He's a shredded dude with a busted face who came out of nowhere saying he's a snowman, and he's wearing sleeveless outfits in the fucking winter.
In the blistering cold.
There are so many red flags and questions that the authorities should have. At the very least, Craig Robinson should have at least called the FBI.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least like do a search like for like escaped mental patients or something. Like Lluvia is asking, would they at least think he was a junkie?
Yes.
He didn't have junkie behavior though.
No. This is junkie behavior. Hey, I'm a snowman.
That's
Can I live
and
with
you go
you
to diners and get free soup and fucking cookies and shit.
Yeah, come on now. He's just sitting there. He knows his way around a ladder. He's doing fucking manual labor for housing.
That's true.
Yeah, this is a fucking junkie, guys. Yo, this bitch would have came home and her TV was gone.
That's true. She leaves him at the house. She literally tells him, doesn't she tell him, like, don't rob me before she leaves today? She says something like that. Please don't rob me. It's so fucking nuts, dude. And that's, for me, you know what, Justin? This isn't, as absurd as this movie is, I think if we took out the snowman element and maybe just made this a town, like, this woman's grieving, she's a widow, and she's trying to find love again, we could easily replace Jack, I think, with Ernest. Because he kind of has an Ernest vibe. He could easily be the dude that wanted...
Hey there, Vern. And her name is Vern.
Yeah.
Hey there, Vern. I need to find myself a wife. You know what I mean? How about this, Vern? I'm going to fix your roof, Vern. And then I'm going to fix that pussy.
Because I can see, imagine Oak Springs is like, hey, we need a new janitor, right? We're short-staffed, and they'll take anybody. And so Ernest comes into town. He's like, I'm anybody. Then he bumps into Lacey Sherburne while she's carrying coffees or some shit. He's like, oh, hot tamale. And they start talking. He's like, oh, I can see you have breasts under that sweater.
So I guess the real question is, under these circumstances, Katie is, obviously, a widow.
Is it Katie or Kathy?
What's that?
I think it's Kathy.
Oh, Kathy, you're right. I'm sorry. Kathy's a widow. Her house is falling apart. She just doesn't have much going on in life. And then this guy who claims he's a snowman comes over, and she invites him. She allows him to live in her house. Right now, mind you, this guy is obviously off his fucking John Rocker. He's saying wild shit to her. He's doing wild things, and he's like cold and
he's racking up debt for her at an astronomical rate.
How long do you think before she gives him a little kitty cat? Seriously, how long? Because all of the things align with her just being extremely lonely, and she's willing to accept anything. I'd say by day 3, she's taking that fucking snow cone, if you know what I mean.
My whole question about that, though, is would he know what to do? He doesn't know what to do unless he's watching porn, like in between these YouTube video tutorials. He's not going to know what to do, and he's probably going to be weird as fuck doing it. Like you could imagine if she gets naked in front of him, he's going to be. It's going to be fucking creepy, man. He's going to be like Eddie Murphy and Bowfinger. It's going to be really weird.
I wonder if his dick is a carrot.
Well, that's the thing too, Justin. That's the thing too. Let's be honest. If this nigga was born out of ice, his dick is going to be small. He's going to probably have like a micro penis. It's going to be indicative of like the weather. And we all know when like, it's cold outside, our dicks shrivel up because it's cold, baby. It's cold.
No, well,
he's not going to have anything to work with. He's going to have all those abs and nothing. That's probably why he's so shredded.
Well, I mean, not necessarily, Brandon, because like it depends who sculpted him. If somebody gave him, a big old ice meat, then he's got some big old ice meat down there.
I really wish this movie had been ballsy enough, no pun intended, to show us like what he was working with. Because he is naked, right? Because when he becomes a real person, the scarf is like covering his manhood and shit. Like he's butt naked, right? So that means that the sculptor made him fully naked. So did they give him a dick or not?
I mean, when he was still a sculpture, I don't think they did. It seemed like it was mostly just, the upper half of him. It was kind of like, a breast, a type thing. Obviously he had the arms because it was like, whatever, but it was almost like an unfinished Michelangelo.
Mm.
Not the Ninja Turtle. I'm talking about the piece of art.
It's unfortunate because the guy has a great body, but his face is it's like a horror film. This is like a horror holiday movie. The way that he plays it, and the way that Lacey Sherbert, like you said, like they don't have any chemistry. So it's not like she's enthralled with him. She doesn't really seem to be radiating towards him. Like there's some of these movies where, like we did that terrible Lindsay Lohan Netflix movie last year, right?
Yeah.
Falling for Christmas or whatever. But she played it well enough where you could kind of tell that she still was in love with this one dude.
Mm.
Like, you can tell that they're like meant to be together. There's just obstacles in their way. There's other holiday movies that Tati and I watched recently where you can see that. And this was the first time where I was like, Kathy, you don't have to like go out of your way to help Jack. Let Jack go. But at the same time, Jack may never have left. Because let's say Kathy gets really freaked out by this dude. It's like, leave me the fuck alone. I don't want you in my life. I don't know if Jack would have abided.
He was just kept on showing up to her house.
I think he would have
doors are locked. All of a sudden, he's just inside cooking fucking pancakes.
And I don't even think it would have been malicious. I don't think it would have turned dark immediately. But I can see him doing that, like still being jovial, and he just won't stop showing up and appearing. But then it does eventually take a dark turn. But that may not be for 2 years when he finally flips out because she's fucking some other dude, or maybe you know what I mean. There's like some weird Casper-esque shit, like where he gets kind of possessive about her and he intrudes on her life to a point where it's like, Kathy, you don't have to do this.
I can see that. But also at the same time, don't we want to live in a world of whimsy that these two get together and then they live happily ever after?
This is the bullshit. This is the bullshit that got us to where we're at. All that shit you just said. There's no time for whimsical anymore. Okay, I get it. Like, films are supposed to be escape from realism and shit. But when you have a dude that basically... Because, Justin, think about the real-life version of this. A dude that just wanders and appears in town, is cuckoo bananas, and showing you who he is, but because he's fucking hot, you just let him do whatever he wants. Isn't that every, like, recent serial killer-esque thing we've watched where a pretty white dude just is wrecking shop? And everyone's like, we didn't know. It's like, he literally told you, like, I kind of like the taste of flesh. Like, it's like, he was telling you between bites of pie at the diner, but because you thought he was hot, you just like, oh, tell me more, stranger. Like, at the diner, everyone's paying attention to him. He's not like, it's not like he's being coy or shy or trying not to tell a story. He's like, I'm a snowman. I just came alive. This stuff is delicious. Lights are amazing. Like, no one's like, he's like a newborn baby. And no one's like, hey man, let's go talk to a doctor.
So what's also like interesting about this is that outside of the deputy cop, played by Joe Truglio.
I thought you were about to say Joe Low Tuglow.
Truglio, Jolo Truglio.
Say this name.
I know, I like it.
Keep saying it.
No, he doesn't actually. Well, actually, him and the police, he doesn't actually have any scenes with any other men outside of like the old man Mortimer, who he's naked in front of his wife, and it seems like he's not down for him really. So it's like basically all the women in this town, they're just like, hey, give this guy a chance. So basically, when it really comes down to Jack Snowman is actually going to be okay regardless, because if Kathy doesn't give him what he wants and what he needs, he has a town filled with women that are ready to take care of him.
This is true. And also he has the command of the police department too, because all he has to do is go to Craig Robinson and be like, hey sheriff, I know you pocketed that $2,000.
Yeah. Yep. That's why people keep on getting arrested. You keep on arresting people for dumb shit, setting their bail at $2,000.
He just made up a number.
Rebel rich.
Aaron Pierre comes into town, and then all the women swoon up after him, and then that's when Jack Snowman flips a switch.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he goes nuts.
He's throwing icicles at niggas.
Because the reason also to support my claim that Jack and Kathy aren't going to make it, we don't know what their triggers are. We don't see either one of them really get upset in this movie. So we don't know what grinds their gears. We don't see what about each other drives the other one fucking nuts. Because like I said, we're both in relationships and marriages and stuff. We know what drives our partner crazy.
Yeah.
And we also know what they...
And we do them.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Yes, we do. Sometimes we do it. They hate it. They hate it so much.
That's what love is.
They do it to me. They do it to us too. They know it drives us crazy.
You need to push your partner to the brink.
But we don't know what that is for Jack Snowman. And because he's a fantastical person that was only granted, Dustin Million, how old is he in real life? He is 39 years old. So let's say he just came alive. He is a near 40-year-old man who is just now discovering the world.
Yeah.
And I think once he gets his dick wet without ice, it's going to be a problem. Anyways, Justin, break down our ratings just. This movie is so out of pocket.
Oh, no, it definitely is. So, guys, you know how we do this. We rate movies, bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional.
Wait.
What's that?
Jack died in front of the whole town, and no one gave a... Everyone was just like, oh, like, this town is fucking... It's crazy, man.
Because the nigga was a snowman, guy.
But they all just stared at him like, oh. And mind you, this is after they gave $2,000 to Craig Robinson.
Well, he gave it back. He said, give everybody back their money. I'm going to let him out of this cell for nothing.
He didn't want to get that money back.
And that shows that nigga was embezzling money.
Imagine if he gave everybody back Monopoly money instead. He's like, yeah, I gave you money back. He's like, nigga, this is a $500 bill and it's gold.
Who's this old nigga with a monocle on it? That's Teddy Roosevelt.
I'm sorry. Break down the rating system again, baby.
Stop calling me baby, you piece of shit. So you had to sneak that in there. So, guys, now we do this. We rate movies, bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. If a film doesn't deserve any hot, buttery popcorn, we throw it into the stale popcorn pile. We pile piles and piles of stale popcorn on top of it. Brandon, we watched a crazy-ass Christmas, fantastical romantic comedy called Hot Frosty, which is crazy because Frosty ain't all that hot at all. Starring Lacey Chabert and Dustin Mulligan, Craig Robinson, and Joe Low Truglio. What say you, Brandon?
Man, Lacey Sherman, she's bad. This movie gets a small. It doesn't get a stale popcorn because it's so absurd. I kept watching. You know what I mean? I didn't have fun watching it, but it's an absurd premise that's just catapulted by batshit crazy performances that do not sync up with each other. And so it's just a fascinating exhibition into chaos on set.
So Brandon, real quick, did Hati watch this with you?
Yes, she did.
What did she think of this?
Oh, she thought it was terrible. I think she would have given this stale popcorn. I don't think she would see that. Well, you know what? She actually really enjoyed Craig Robinson and this stuff. Okay. She did enjoy his songs and his weirdness. But again, for me, I'm like, Craig Robinson's in a completely different fucking movie. You could tell that whenever he was on set, they just let him do whatever the fuck he wanted. I wouldn't be surprised if all of his dialogue was improvised. Okay. Because some of it didn't make any sense. What he was asking.
Yeah, a lot of it. He was going.
Like his interrogations of like they made no goddamn sense. He wasn't asking any relevant questions and shit. And then he had that crazy look in his eye where I was like, he's the sheriff?
Somebody's going to get shot up here.
Yeah. It'll be reverse George Floyd shit. He'll be fucking killing everybody. He'll kill all the white people. If there's ever a white town that should be worried about black people in power, it should be Hope Springs, New York.
All right, so
what's your rating, Justin?
I'm going to rate this. I'm going to give it a small as well. Because, yes, this movie is not good. I think that Dustin Milligan is not a good actor. This was a terrible script. So Russell Hainlin, how dare you? But the absurdity of this is something that you just can't look away from. Like, there's something entertaining about how bad this actually is. And now, so Paula was watching this with me, and she was just like, I don't know what's going on here. It's just like, he looks fucking crazy. There's no way I would let him into my house. But Paula loves Christmas. Paula loves Christmas. She loves Christmas movies. So she was all in on this, but she was not happy that this was a Christmas movie that she had to watch. She probably would have gave this dog shit as well. I'm sorry, not dog shit. Stale.
Remember, we're more positive than that.
Yeah. Are we? We're trying to watch this movie. Are we really all that positive?
Lluvia in the chat is asking, is this worse than The Family Man, which we recently reviewed for patreon.com/mediumpopcorn. This is worse, I think. Well, this kept me up. The Family Man kind of like had enough lulls where I was like, how much longer? Whereas this was like, okay, this is quick and also completely insane.
Yeah.
And also like Lacey Sherber had enough tight outfits where I was like, okay, I can stay with this.
But T. Leone was in Family.
Yeah, but also remember she spends most of her time just getting yelled at by a crazy Nick Cage, so it's not that attractive.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
It's not as much of a happy story.
Yeah. Nick Cage is just like, I have to fuck you and then I have kids. I
want to fuck our neighbor.
Speaking of neighbors, Chriselle Staus is in this, and she's on like a Selling Sunset. She's kind of a baddie. Anyway.
Oh yeah. She was randomly in this for like a scene or two.
Yeah. It was weird, but I was like, oh, hey girl. Folks, that's Medium Popcorn, our review on Hot Frosty. As always, you can follow us at Medium P Podcast on all social media platforms. You can follow me at Fertile_Blackens on Instagram and Threads, or Fertile Blackens on Blue Sky. I got a lot of show dates coming up in the new year, so keep posted on that. And just so people will support you, will follow you and support the show financially, how can they do that, my brother?
Well, if you want to support me, you can hit me up on Snapchat or Venmo. Or anything, yeah. Jay Brown did it. Send me money, y'all. I'll send you a dick pic back. But if you want,
the dick pics are supposed to be for Patreon only, man. We're adding an extra foot long tier, y'all. $30 a month. You get either dick or booty hole. We'll never know. It's gonna be a roll of the dice.
Be mostly booty holes.
What does it have to do with movies? We have no idea. You tell us.
Apparently, I'll be delivering most of those booty hole pictures to prison, to Diddy. He'll pay good money to put his commissary. But anyhow, guys, you guys can follow me at jbrowndinner on all the social media platforms. And of course, you need to get on this Patreon action, patreon.com/medium popcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, and $15 packages. Our entire backlog lives on Patreon. We have bonus episodes. We have mini shows. Patreon is where it's at. So again, patreon.com/medium popcorn.
That's right, y'all. Sign up, man. You know, we recently had a Patreon subscriber join, and they were like,
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself. Yeah.
You really are just really trying to shoehorn that into the episodes, huh?
"Can you blame me?" All right. So thank you so much for listening. Again, patreon.com/media popcorn if you want to support the show. You can also leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. We will read it on the show. And if you want to leave us a mail, I'm just trying to pull up the number real quick. 347-464-8214. Once again, it's 347-464-8214. And the number's in the show notes. So give us a call. Let us know what you thought of our episodes. Let us know what you think of us. You know, send your thoughts and your prayers. And, you know, we'd love to hear from you.
Indeed, y'all. Indeed. Indeed, they do.
All right, folks. We hold you. We love you. We walk down the street in the cold, trying to get to you. Because we know it's cold outside. We know it's cold inside because you ain't got no heat. Why ain't you got no heat? We don't know. You live in Hot Springs, girl. But I'm coming. I'm coming with that heat and that cold. Because I'm Jack fucking Snowman. Hey, you going to remember my name.
Mm-hmm. Heat is coming.